So I'm with Calvin, who does not have a tiger with him right now, with Air Force Games, talking about their awesome new game, Early Dark, which is awesome. So what is Early Dark about for our viewers who have not read it?
Sure. Early Dark is a low fantasy, low magic role-playing game. It has a little bit of like the old school crunch to it. There's some modifiers, pretty much as the game master wants. But we try to stay away from the typical sort of fantasy or fake medieval setting. All of the cultures in the game are mashups of real-world cultures. And we usually picked one that was something that's valorized or romanticized in typical Western fiction or fantasy, and then one that's ignored, either demonized or completely ignored. So, for instance, one of our cultures is a combination of like 9th century Viking and Inuit culture put together. So you have people that like ride sleds, like tundra hunters, that also have that kind of raiding culture. And so instead of like longboats with dragon heads at the prow, you have catamarans with these very large wolf heads like coming out of the front.
And really like the cold. I mean, if you're dealing with those two cultures,
cold.
yeah, they really love the cold.
And like one of the cultures then is Han Dynasty China mixed with Olmec together.
Ooh.
And so you have, there's a lot of sort of a glamour that surrounds the Han Dynasty China with Jet Li films, with things like Hero or House of Flying Daggers or something. But Olmec culture doesn't really get talked about, and people don't get excited about that in like typical fantasy settings. So we pulled that in, and they have ziggurats, and they have like in the rainforest and things like that. An austere sort of aesthetic. You can like bring in some of that, like the cool stoicness of the Chinese aesthetic, but it's amidst these rainforests and ziggurats and things.
One of the things I really liked about it is this game, and just kind of give readers a view, about over a good quarter of this book is its lore, and I really
half 200 pages.
200 pages of a how many pages of a book?
200 out of 400, so 402 pages in the overall book.
So, how complicated is the dice system? Because that's a lot of people are like, oh my god, totally. Dice.
Yeah, the system, it's a very tactile system. You actually roll the dice and move them around, which some people really, really hate because then cheaters can cheat, right? If someone's moving dice, they sometimes fudge them. Yeah. But we like the tactility of it. And so, it's a D10 system that's, I guess it's kind of as crunchy as you want it to be. You role play a little bit before you take your turn, and then you roll for opportunities. So you don't really know what action you're taking before you roll. And then it's kind of like consulting the bones or something. You look down at your dice, and behind your cupped hand, you arrange them into groups, and your opponent does the same thing. And then you both reveal, and if I made like a group of 4, a group of 2, and a group of 3, and you made a group of 5 and a group of 3, those groups of 3s cancel out. You hit me with 5 dice, I hit you with the 4 and the 2. So you're kind of like taking multiple actions on your turn, and both people, like every defense is a counterattack.
Cool. So, anything you want to say before I have to let you go?
Yeah, I would just say Early Dark, it's fantastic. We love it. It's distributed through Indie Press Revolution, so we're in stores all over the country, all over the world. It's like a different flavor for some people that like the old school games. It avoids there's no elves, there's no cod pieces, there's no pantyhose. It's almost more like a 10,000 BC or a Robert E. Howard sort of world. And yeah, unique D10 system that's a little bit crunchy, but really fun and easy to learn.
And if they don't have a gaming store, where can they get a copy of this?
You can get it at DriveThruRPG digitally, or you can buy the hardcover book from us, which comes with a free PDF on our website, anthroposgames.com.